What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Now, before we get started with this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue, the road to 200 subs has now come to a close, and we are now 203 subs away from hitting 500 subs. And if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, because practically 100% of you guys are watching the content, but you guys aren't even subscribed. So if you guys are watching the content, you like the content, and you want more of the content, but you haven't subscribed as of late, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which is this: who do you believe has been the greatest NXT champion right now? Let me know down in the comments below. And think about this, guys. I mean, you've got the Heritage Cup champion. You've got the tag team champions. You've got the NXT Women's and Women's North American champion. You've got the NXT champion. We've got some incredible champions. So and then also you've got the Men's North American champion as well. So among them, who do you believe has been the better champion? Let me know down in the comments below. And speaking of the North American Championship, this week's episode, we're going to be talking about who will step up to Shawn Spears and the NXT North American title. Now, it has been a little under a month since he became champion, and he's held the title since post Roadblock. And it's weird because I never would have imagined that Shawn Spears would be the NXT North American champion at this stage in his career, because he was a part of NXT many years ago, but never really got to the heights that a guy like Seth Rollins did, or a guy like Trick Williams got to, or the heights that a Carmelo Hayes went to. But now he's at the top of the mountain and is now the NXT North American champion. Now we do know that he will be defending the title tomorrow night on NXT against Ricky Sainz. I believe it is tomorrow night. And even in spite of that, he's still going to be needing challengers after tomorrow night, because I'm pretty sure that Shawn Spears is probably going to be retaining his title tomorrow night. So with that being said, the question becomes, who will step up to Shawn Spears and his North American title? So let's get down to it. I mean, you've got a plethora of talent on the side of NXT and then on the side of TNA. You've got guys like Andre Chase, Ashante Villadonis. You've got Axiom. You've got Bronco Nima, who we hadn't seen much of in quite some time, actually. Brooks Jensen. You've got Stax. You've got Charlie Dempsey. You've got Dante Chen, who we hadn't seen in like almost a year now, funny enough. You've got guys like Eddie Thorpe, Adrian Enofe, Ethan Page. You've got Hank Walker. You've got Javier Bernal, who's been a part of the WWE Evolve roster recently, which has been awesome. You've got Javon Evans, Joe Coffey, who again, another guy that's been on Evolve as of late. Josh Briggs, Lexis King, the current Heritage Cup champion. You've got Luca Crucifino, who's been pulling triple duty as of late in WWE. Not only being a part of the NXT roster, being a part of the D'Angelo family as their consigliere, and also working as well WWE Evolve, which has been incredible. An incredible first victory on Evolve a couple weeks ago against none other than Javier Bernal, funny enough. Lucian Price, Malik Blade, Mark Coffey. You've got Miles Bourne, Nathan Fraser, Noam Dar, who we haven't seen in well over a year. In fact, it has been a full almost a year since Ethan Page attacked Noam Dar and just put him on the shelf completely. In fact, Noam Dar has been hush. He's been keeping these hush away from social media for a while now, from what I've been hearing. You've got Obafemi, the current NXT champion. You've got Oro Mensa. You also got Ricky Saints, who again tomorrow night will be challenging for said title. You've got Ridge Holland, Riley Osborne. You've got Tank Ledger, Tavion Heights, Tony D'Angelo, Trick Williams, Tariq Igwe, Tyson DuPont, Wesley, the former champion, the longest reigning champion ever, and then of course you've got Wolfgang, and then on the side of TNA, you've got Ace Austin, you've got AJ Francis, Alan Angels, Brian Myers, Campaign Singh, Chris Bay, let's see here, Cody Deaner, Crazy Steve, Eddie Edwards, Elijah, or Elias if you guys remember him, Eric Young, Frankie Kazarian, Jack Price, Jake something. Let's see here, Jason Hotch, Jeff Hardy, JDC, Joe Hendry, the current TNA World Champion, John Skyler, Casey Navarro, Judas Icarus, Laredo, Leon Slater, Mance Warner, Matt Cardona, Matt Hardy, Mike Santana, Moose, the current TNA X Division champion, which would be very, very interesting to say the very least. Mustafa Ali, Nick Nemeth. You've got Octagon Jr., Ryan Nemeth, Sammy Callahan, Shara, Shogun, Steve Macklin. Let's see here. You've got as well Tommy Dreamer, Travis Williams, Trey Miguel, and then of course you've got Zachary Wentz. All these guys are more than worthy of challenging for the NXT North American title. But think about this, right? It's only been a few weeks since that night when Shawn Spears became champion, and this is actually the very first championship he's ever held in WWE. Yes, he's had opportunities at the NXT title, back when he was a part of the semi-original NXT. Yes, he did have shots at the United States title, the 24/7 championship when it was still around. The Intercontinental Championship. He's had opportunities at so many championships, but never was able to win those titles simply because he wasn't ready. At that point in his career, he wasn't ready, and I feel like now was the perfect opportunity for Shawn Spears to become a champion in WWE, because I feel like now that he's aligned himself with Brooks Jensen, Nico Vance, and of course and also Izzy Dame, with those three backing him up, this has been the best version of Shawn Spears we have ever seen in a very, very long time. So on the side of NXT, I mean, you've got a lot of them. I think the number one. I think like if there was two from both sides, two from NXT, two from TNA, that I would love to see challenge for said title. We already know. We already know that Tony D'Angelo is expected to get his rematch. Excuse me, sometime between now and possibly Stand and Deliver at best. We know that we are expecting him to get that rematch. So at this point now, it comes down to who deserves the opportunity more. And honestly, as crazy as it sounds, number one that comes into mind is Javon Evans. I feel like with the amount of championship opportunities that he has had, pushing the champion to the limit. Whether it was the NXT champion, the NXT Heritage Cup champion, taking Randy Orton. Excuse me. Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. Taking Randy Orton to the limit last year in St. Louis. I have no doubt in my mind that Javon Evans is definitely worthy of being a champion, and I feel like the North American title is definitely a good first step for him moving forward. So Javon Evans, and if I had to pick one other person, as crazy as it sounds, and I'm probably gonna get some heat for this, but Ridge Holland. And the only reason why I believe it's Ridge Holland is because he's been a part of WWE for several years now, dating back to what, 2019? So 19, 2020, 2021. So he's been with WWE for 6 years now, and not once has he held a championship in WWE. He's had opportunities at the tag team titles alongside Pete Dunne. He's had opportunities at the NXT UK Championship. He's had opportunities at the NXT title as well, but never got the chance to win those titles. And I feel like at this stage now, if Rich Holland doesn't win a championship by the end of this year, I honestly believe that he may never. He could very may well never win a championship in WWE. So Ridge Holland and Javon Evans on the side of NXT, and then of course on the side of TNA. Honestly, as crazy as it sounds, that this is gonna be one of controversy. I would have to say Moose and Ace Austin. And the only reason why I say Moose and Ace Austin is because both of these guys are two of the biggest names in TNA right now. In fact, Ace Austin is actually one of TNA's fastest rising stars out there right now. And it's weird. It's weird because when you look at how at the match that Moose had a few weeks ago at Roadblock for said NXT title against Obafemi, Moose took Obafemi to the absolute limit in New York City. He took Obafemi to the absolute limit, and I have no doubt in my mind that if there was ever one person that could take a championship from NXT and bring it to TNA and defend it there, it would most certainly have to be Moose. But at the same time, Ace Austin again is one of TNA's fastest rising stars, and I touched on it several weeks ago, where we could potentially see Ace Austin get signed with NXT at some point. Yes, that idea still remains the same. Yes, it is true that we could see Ace Austin show up to NXT and get signed with NXT, but as of right now, Ace Austin has signed a multi-year deal with with um TNA, and now it comes down to the question of when can we expect Ace Austin to make the jump and be a part of NXT for a brief moment. Honestly, I think now would be the perfect time. So between Moose and Ace Austin, I think it would have to be Ace Austin. And then on the side of NXT, that's a bit of a tricky one because again, both Javon Evans and Ridge Holland are both worthy of becoming a champion in NXT. Obviously, Javon Evans is actually the second youngest. I believe he's the second youngest WWE superstar of all time. I think number one was Zaya Brookside at just like what, 18, 19 years old, somewhere around there. Absolutely absolutely crazy. I will say, if I will say between Rich Holland and Javon Evans, it's like I said, Javon Evans has a long career ahead of him in WWE. Rich Holland, on the other hand, does not. He doesn't have a very long career ahead of him because of the fact that he's been in WWE for 6 years, and there's really no telling when he will get released from WWE, let alone retire from professional wrestling altogether. So there really isn't a whole lot of time for Rich Holland to be a champion. This year has to be the year that we see Rich Holland become champion. So between Rich Holland and Ace Austin, crazy as it sounds, it has to be Rich Holland. Because again, it's like I said, if he doesn't win a championship sometime between now and this time next year, there's no hope for Rich Holland whatsoever, and we could very may well end up seeing Rich Holland leave WWE without even winning a single championship. But only time will tell. Tomorrow night, again, we do know that Spears will be defending his title against Ricky Saints, which should be very interesting to say the very least. I believe it is tomorrow night, or it could be Ricky Saints against someone else. No, I'm pretty sure it's Ricky Saints and Shawn Spears tomorrow night. I'm pretty sure. I need to take a look. NXT. Here we are. I'm pretty, I think it will be tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow. It's pretty weird because I think at this point now, we're gonna be in for a very interesting interesting matchup between Saints and Spears. But again, we'll have to wait and see. But again, Definitely Ridge Holland, in my opinion. But let me know down in the comments below who you believe should step up to Shawn Spears and the NXT North American title. Let me know down in the comments below, and that'll do it for this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue in the future, then make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.